Normally, I would get a lot of material to aid me in telling stories in a video. But this time, I didn't really have time because there was a lot of IRL stuff going on. So you'll have to put up with just watching me trying to draw Hannelore and Wilfred. By the way, I plan to just review the newly released Part 5 Volume 9 in detail. But then, everything is pretty much smooth sailing. It's not really that exciting. Sylvester unleft Georgina with his own hands and finally puts a lifetime of family grudge to rest once and for all. The invasion failed miserably with the help of everyone. Some did die and mine got PTSD, but overall, it's still smooth sailing. And talking about sailing, this is the volume where mine ex Ferdinand's ship officially sailed. For the longest time, Ferdinand's Geduld has always been Ehrenfest. But in this volume, he admits that someone is more important than Ehrenfest for him. Not to mention, when Mine brings up the idea of marrying him for political reasons that has been pushed around by Hannelore, he doesn't really mind it, and seemingly even welcomes the idea. Anyway, what I wanted to talk about is something more unexpected that I found in the next volume. First, it was the realization that my assumption about Lanzenafi's plan is so wrong. Very wrong. I thought their plan hinged on that Linde getting Grutterscheid. But nope, Lanzenafi's king is more than qualified to become the next Zen. Omni-elemental, massive mana reserve, and some royal blood. Seriously, why didn't I think that? It has been talked about in the previous volume when Ferdinand brought up Adaglisa Villa. And considering Lanzenafi King is born out of selective breeding, he even managed to surpass the mana capacity of both mine and Ferdinand combined. Yes, combined. Ferdinand, who are known as an absolute powerhouse, is not even a threat for him. Both of them are barely even a threat. In the middle of battle, Gervasio even has a leeway to think about how he can kill one of them, fearing it would result in their Grutterscheid being completed. My reaction to this information is just pure, what the hell? One more thing I got wrong is, the Knight Commander's betrayal came from him being loyal to the Princess of Lanzenafi, not because he wanted to become the Zen himself. Second, the realization that Jürgen Smith is kinda a sinking ship. I always wondered why the nation is in its current state. It is advanced, but also backwards at the same time. It is so hostile towards the common way of life. For God's sake, we don't have a regular paved road between big cities. Now, I know the reason aside from monsters. Jürgen Smith is created for the sake of people with mana who get rejected by the world. It is a shelter for people with mana. This revelation literally flipped my whole understanding of the world. Now all the creation myths from the Jürgen Smith Bible and how the nation got shaped finally make sense. In this nation, nobles with mana held absolute authority over commoners. But out there, they are possibly just outcasts that probably being discriminated against. And looking at what's happened to Gervasio and his crony, yeah. This revelation also sheds some light on why Gervasio, the Lanzenafi's king, wanted to become Zen. The outside world has progressed so much that the magic that gives him ultimate authority has been relegated into something convenient to be used by people around him. With all the anti-magic items that people can make, his magic no longer grants him God among men status. The power dynamic has flipped, and now they are who are being exploited. If they wanted, his people could topple his regime. But his power nobles around him are so convenient they are being kept around. He doesn't want to conquer Jürgen Smith. He wanted to escape the exploitative world of his own kingdom and Jürgen Smith in human tradition for his people. To the walled garden of Jürgen Smith. The walled garden that has been left behind by the progressing outside world. The implication of those things is so big, I don't know what would happen next. I wouldn't even want to try to guess how the author would move forward, because my guess would probably be just plain wrong again. Anyway, that's it for the unexpected thing. Now for the expected. Let's start with the fact that Torqual, the current Zen, is being absolutely useless. He literally did nothing with the reason that people who can get router sight should be in the Zen, whoever that is. If this perspective comes from the gods that only cared for the land of Jurgen Smith itself, it may be understandable. But coming from him, not so much. Of course, not being in the right mind contributes to his uselessness, but even so, it is his fault for falling for the enemy's tricks. Or so Ferdinand said. His wishy-washy attitude pushed Ferdinand to rely on Anastasius, which so far seems to be the most useful aside from Magdalena, who brought troops to fight the internal battle. And looking from the next cover, yeah, Sigismund seems to have no chance. For the next expected thing, Ferdinand now pretty much holds the fate of Jurgen Smith. He may be outmatched in terms of mana, but we're talking about Ferdinand here. He will find a way to win, and he did. After Miss Theonora herself descended and put a stop to bloodshed in the Garden of the Beginning, it is decided that the race to become the Zen would literally be decided by a race to fill up the country gate. It was at this moment Gervasio realized he had been fucked. Playing dirty is Ferdinand's forte. With his mechanization, not only Gervasio lost the race, he also lost his stopper, aka his lifeline as a magic user. Anyway, this makes him the only person that can decide who will become the Zen. After all, he has Grootry sight, Mind is on his side, and no one can politically oppose him. God damn, I'm really excited to read further. But alas, the translation only comes once a week. But then, just 2 more volumes and we are done with this story. And it kinda makes me feel, well, I call it, losing a long-running series that you enjoyed is like losing your lifelong friend, or losing Free Rent Friday. The world is just not the same without them. Thanks for coming! My next post about this series will probably be after the novel ends. I hope we can meet again!
聞いたお話なんだか覚えてる弾ける星みたいなときめきずっと覚えていたくて有り余る好奇心をどこにとどめ